You'll hear me. I'll be like,
I don't know how to share it, but we'll see. Okay.
all right. Let's see. All right, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nurse Charms Live. If this is your first time joining us, I am your host, Nurse Charms. I am joined with a guest who I'll be introducing in just a few moments. I'm just going to go over a couple of housekeeping things. First and foremost, please share this video. Share this video so everybody can join in. We're going to have a great discussion tonight. Let me just make sure this comment feed is open. Okay, yep. Comment feed is open. So this is a live Q&A. I'll be asking my guests questions, and you guys can also join in and ask whatever questions that you want. And if we don't get to all your questions within the allotted time, we'll circle back and answer them on the feed, okay? So I always like to tell everybody that we're not being endorsed. You know, our thoughts are our own. Nobody's paying us to say anything. This is all for educational purposes, and we hope that we can add some value to everyone watching this. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my guest, Jay Success. What up, homie? How you doing?
Hey,
What's up?
First, thank you for even thinking about me to have me on your platform with your fans and your following and people, your supporters. So thank you. Thank you.
Of course. I had to bring you in. You know, I see you doing your thing. So I'm like, yeah, you would be great. You know, I've been talking about COVID-19 because, you know, things have just been changing by the day. So I've normally been bringing in nurse and doctors on my show, but I switched it up a little bit. I brought in a very successful entrepreneur. So we're going to talk about some of the struggles that entrepreneurs are having, you know, from this impact of COVID-19. So we're going to have a great discussion here. Like I said, comment feed is open. Go ahead and ask any questions that you have. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Jay.
Well, my name is Jay Success, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan, Dexter Avenue. I'm an entrepreneur. I've worked with a lot of entertainers. I had a store called Press Play Entertainment for 10 years. And we worked with everyone in the city for real, except for like Kid Rock and Eminem. And we segued into doing a printing company and a beverage company and real estate. So I would say I'm a serial entrepreneur and just want to do a lot for the city and make an impact in this world.
Dope. I love it. Let us know what type of companies you have. Tell us a little bit, how you started your business and, how long you've been in business and, all those good things.
Well, I've been in business since I was like 16, 17 years old. I started just selling candy. And then one of my friends pulled me to the side. They saw me selling candy for a week. They pulled me to the side. I was buying it from like the neighborhood liquor store and just really making probably about 5 cents on each, one sucker that I sold. And then they took me to the wholesaler and took me downtown and we sold candy, my friend Yolanda, and it was just on from there. Once I made my bus fare, I just kept going and sold candy and stuff and CDs through college, and then started working at the mall. And once I started working at the mall, I eventually got my own business, graduated from college, and it just kind of progressed from there. So I'm one of those stories that, just started from absolutely nothing in the city and just kept on grinding, kept on pushing. And I have a printing company called Motown Printing, and I have a beverage company called Aquaholics, where we sell alkaline water. And the printing company, we really work with entrepreneurs, like Charmaine, and she has a lot of different businesses. So we could print flyers, banners, business cards, T-shirts, and things of that nature. So it's really a support system to the businesses that we run and are a part of, and we like to work with other entrepreneurs with the printing business.
Dope. That's so inspiring. So, have either one of your businesses been impacted by, COVID-19 and, the governor, she ordered the shutdown of several businesses that weren't essential. So, were you impacted in any way?
Yeah, I think every business in some form or fashion has been impacted. But one thing about Motown Printing is we service our base as an entrepreneur community. So every essential entrepreneur, they still need products, they still need labels, they still need things. And because people are home, a lot of entrepreneurs, which really shout out to you guys because you guys really found the way, and that allowed our business to progress forward. So because you guys found the way to make your businesses work, you guys needed our services. So we've actually been busy or even more busier with people finding creative ways to do their business and service the community. And they've called on us to assist with that. And with the beverage company, Aquaholics, we're actually transitioning because we have a 12,000 square foot warehouse and we're building out our kitchen. But we had to go back to our old kitchen to manufacture our waters. So that business took off as well. And since the COVID, we've delivered because we do no contact delivery. You get 10 gallons of water. And it's not to plug it, but I'm just answering your
No,
question.
you're good.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
we've been able to deliver over 3,000 gallons. We donated a thousand 12-ounce bottles to the frontline workers. We raised money for that. So business has been very busy, and I'm very humbled and grateful and thankful for the community calling on us as one of the people like, yo, I know I can get in touch with Jay. I know I can call my business partner, Roy. I know that we could service you guys. So we're very honored to say that we've been busy through this time and prospering.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing because today there was a press conference and I was listening to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, and he made a statement. He was basically just saying how the coronavirus has left a devastating human and economic toll, in its wake. Because so many businesses, especially big companies, have been filing bankruptcy. Well, in Michigan, I have to say Michigan because I know I have viewers from all over, but in Michigan, we've been closed basically since like March 15th. That's when a lot of businesses began to close. So it's really having a huge impact, especially on small businesses. So I'm seeing all of this because what are some, since you've been successful throughout all of this, COVID pandemic, what are some things that entrepreneurs should prioritize, when they're faced with this situation, like, oh my gosh, my business is closed. Like, what's a good first step to take?
I think for entrepreneurs, just really finding a way. You can't really speak to it's so many different businesses and services that are offered. So just to really speak to every business would be challenging for both me and you. But let's use your business for example, where you have in one of your many businesses, you have a massage business. So you are not able to utilize the massage business, but what you could do is you could write a book on massage and you can study yoga, you can study things in the massage industry that you can maybe put on YouTube. You can write, a book on it, write an ebook, give it away, do virtual sessions. I mean, it's like I said, there's so many different industries that really we don't really think about it until now about how many different industries that we have as entrepreneurs. But I would just say figuring out a way to implement that digital aspect to your business, or if you have a product, implementing a service. If you have a service, implementing a product. You could come out with a massage oil, for example, where you could say, hey, this is something that I've used for my clients for years. And you may have not thought about packaging that up. Like my barber, shout out to my barber Crystal. Like I've been telling her to put like a beard oil together or some hair grease that she sell, and she did some of that. But just having a product that people can use and really just going all in on that part. So even if you're not profitable in terms of growing your YouTube, you might not have a YouTube audience and be able to monetize it, but you can at least get a following up, and then
Right.
eventually that stuff will pay off in 10 years to where you will start getting some money from the things that you did throughout this pandemic.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I know one of the challenges, small businesses have been having is money, of course, because if your business is closed and you pay release space, is like, where is that income gonna come from? It's like you're draining out your savings or whatever. And the Congress, they came together and they put some loan programs. One was the payroll protection, and then another one was the EIDL, the economic disaster loan. And despite these, programs that were out here, a lot of Black entrepreneurs didn't, seek out assistance. And some of it just kind of comes from distrust, thinking like, oh, we won't qualify, or they're not trying to help us out. Why do you think that occurs? Why do you think some people have distrust, in the loan system, I guess?
Well, it's like,
Or why do you think some people aren't seeking those opportunities?
I think it's two parts to it. I think that one part is like a lot of people have distrust in the government because they'll say, like, yo, you can get this free, but it'll come with all these stipulations where, like they had a housing where you can buy a house, but in order to fix the house up, you got to get insurance on the house. But the insurance on the house is $10,000 a year. So when you have that, like a lot of people, I ain't even just gonna say Black people, but a lot of people that came up on the house, like when the housing market crashed and they raised the insurance rate, they're like, well, I'll just slow roll it and fix it up. So you got that where I feel like it's a lot of distrust in the government because the government will say one thing to look good, but out of 100 people, only 7 people really qualify. So without even moving forward, you just don't, or you can't have a felony, or you can't have no. It's just so many things that go into it where you got this small group of people that actually would qualify for what's given. And that could be the perception. I'm not saying that's the reality, but people have tried these things and failed in that aspect and got discouraged. So when they hear that, they like, once they click, they look at it and then they see one line item that disqualifies them and they just don't even apply. And then the second thing is that we just don't have you don't want me to cuss, do you? You don't want me to cuss? Like don't cuss?
No,
Okay,
no.
we don't have our stuff, we don't have our S together. So we'll do hustles, and because of social media, you have this perception of success where you busy. So you're not licensed, or you haven't took the proper paperwork, or you're not filed with the state, or you don't file taxes. So you're actually operating a successful hustle. You're doing business, but you're not running. Your business is not a business, it's a successful hustle. And that also is good in terms of you're making a lot of revenue because you're not paying what a licensed person would pay. Like if I was a popular massage, and I'm gonna use your business, massage
Yeah.
person, for example, and I had people come into my house and I'm doing massage and I'm on Instagram. You have a business, you have a brick and mortar, you have a license, you pay taxes, you file your taxes, you pay your employees. So it looked like I'm winning. But when it comes to the programs for whatever, you're going to qualify because you have an actual business, whereas I'm more popular than you. I get more business, but I have a hustle that I'm operating as a business, but don't nobody know that except for the people that's operating the hustle. So when you have that, you have to get your stuff together. And I was just talking to one of my advisors today, not today, but yesterday, because I helped one of my old employees get unemployment. And we were just talking about like I was telling my employee how important it is for me to have somebody to do paperwork because I don't do paperwork well. So I have somebody that does all the paperwork so we can get these programs and stuff and qualify for these things, and they make sure that we're in line for these type of benefits that you can receive.
Right. Because one of the complaints I always hear is, oh, they don't care about us. We just screwed. And I mean, I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's true. Now, like you said, if you don't have your paperwork together, then I could see why people throw that out as a defense mechanism. But I mean, if you have all of your paperwork together, I mean, really, it's just first come, first serve. Everybody should be able to qualify, because I do, on the flip side, I do know a lot of, African Americans who did apply for, some of these loan programs, and they did, get receive their funding. What's up? Let me see. Kamar,
What
he's
up?
joining us. What's up? Appreciate your support.
Thanks for
So
putting
listen,
me.
what are some things what are some things that consumers can do to support the entrepreneurs who have their businesses closed? Just what are some things that they can do to still support?
I mean, that's just like asking, and not on you, but I'm saying like that's like asking somebody that's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, what can somebody do to support an idea in your head? Like, I'm not gonna put it on the customer. I'm gonna put it on the entrepreneur. Like, you need to come out with a service if you got a product. If you got a product, you need to come out with a service. If you got a service, you need to come out with a product that caters to we. I'm not gonna tell the customers don't support an entrepreneur that don't have they product out here for you to buy it. So you have to come up with something and then people can share it. Like he said, they can support it, they can buy it, they can give you feedback. But it's like I'm writing a real estate book right now, almost done with the book. You cannot buy the book if the book is not out yet. So as much as it's been in my head, as much as I got my draft, I'm working on it, you have to have an actual product out for people to support your product. So, or a service out that caters to what's going on. And I think that people have been good. I've been seeing a lot of people that have been prospering and people have been supporting and people have been buying, like shout out to Juicing with Jay. She was buying gift cards to people businesses like and giving them away on Facebook. So I see people that have sprung into action like you started doing you on your 15th show, you've been doing these podcasts. Robert Courtney been doing podcasts. He trying to do 100 of them. So people are coming out and supporting, but you have to take the first step and put out a product or a service or something that we can support.
Right. I guess I was more so speaking of, and he said it here, just even supporting on social media, you know what I'm saying? Like sharing pages, going and putting out some reviews, some business reviews, if they've had your services, we don't want people to be making up fake reviews, or yeah, like you said, like gift cards and stuff like that, for future business. Yeah, I think those are some things that because customers, they're loyal for the most part, and they understand we're all human, we all are in this together, so to speak. So people want to support. So yeah, just want to give out some suggestions for that. So what are some short-term solutions that you can give for entrepreneurs who are still waiting to open their business?
That are wait.
I mean, like they're not trying to start. They're not trying to start business. You know what I'm saying? But what can they do? In the interim until their business, like to help make their business better. What are some things they can do?
I think we're moving towards more digital, more delivery based. I think just figuring out how to implement technology into your business is essential. We've been kind of talking about it and, like putting it on the floor, and then you hear Gary Vee talking about it and you see it. But I think that that's going to be more prominent, and you can add that like none of the things that we're doing should go away once COVID and everything returns back to normal. So like real estate agents, they should have been doing virtual tours. Like that saves so much time for people. So even though we have no contact, you can still have that as an option. And imagine how many lazy entrepreneurs is about to be that's going to be so happy that the world returned and they're not going to take the extra step to go do a virtual tour or pay for professional pictures. And you can be 10 steps ahead of them by implementing that and making that a habit and making that a foundation of what you do so that you can continue to prosper so that if something else happens, you already, that's just a part of your game plan anyway. So trust me, when the world get back to normal, people gonna get back to being lazy. And the people who make this protocol and really embrace this and figure out how to make this part of their business bigger are going to win. Like Amazon is thriving because they figured it out before this happened. So they're behind right now and trying to catch up. And it's some people that are going to be behind and going to stay behind because they're going to get back complacent and lazy and not do the things that you need to do to move forward.
Oh no, I hope that doesn't happen. Um, think about how they want to brand their business, understand their customer base, understand their product and service. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yep, just basically use this time to come up with some goals, so how you can stay winning, once your business gets back open again.
Absolutely.
He says, Jay, you gonna get
I
type
don't
heat.
want,
Drew is catching.
I don't
Oh
want
my
none of
gosh,
them
I
problems.
saw that. Yeah. Hey, and speaking of that, let me just get into my next question I have for you. Uh, hold on, let's see. Scott says, dude nailed it about the lazy people.
Listen,
I
I
mean,
don't
yes,
want none of
lazy
that
people are
energy,
a
y'all.
reality.
I don't want none of that energy. We be working 18 hours here, y'all. I don't want none of that energy. Peace and love to everybody. Seriously.
No, no, but real talk though, people are living good off of this unemployment. They're getting that $600, that President Trump, is giving everybody, and from the feds, and then they're getting what is it, that scale of 160 to 360, something like that. Well, depending on what state you live in or whatever. But so essentially people are almost getting $1,000, you know what I'm saying, to stay at home. And employers are calling their staff back, because they've taken out some of these loans, and in order to get these loans to be forgivable, you got to have your staff back working. And some of the staff are either saying, maybe they're scared, they're not ready to come back, they don't feel it's safe, or some people, just for whatever reason, people just don't want to go back, or the most obvious, they're making more money, on unemployment than what they were making, for the employer. So what is your advice? Because somebody did mention on here, somebody, a business owner, we're not going to say their name, but they made some statements and it caused a lot of controversy. But not just that person, I've been seeing others. That's why I'm bringing it up to you, because I've been seeing quite a few business owners. They're all sharing this same struggle. Employees don't want to come back to work. They prefer to ride out this unemployment than come back and make their minimum wage or whatever it is. So like, how do you handle that situation? What would be your advice to entrepreneurs?
Doing real estate right now and still trying to work through, COVID. And I got two young employees, they 16 and 17 now and qualify for it. Um, I've been, to be 100% honest, the people that have been working with me, not even like working for me, I've been doing a lot of begging and working around schedules and asking, and I'll match whatever pay. Like one of my builders, I'm like, yo, whatever you getting paid, I will match that, whatever I need to do. Like I've been real humble and asking them, I got deadlines, like I got a painter over at one house. I'm calling him every day. I'm trying to send him referrals. And I just been like, people getting this money.
Or has it been a challenge, or it's been working out good for you? What are you saying?
I mean, I'm behind because they got other jobs, they got other things that they doing. They probably getting some money, and I just think that you got to work around that. I mean, you just got to understand that if somebody getting like whatever the amount of money it is, that they might be afraid to come back and risk their health because like I lost my grandmother was 94 and she broke her hip and she went to the hospital to get that treated, caught COVID and passed away. So she was
Oh,
good. She was healthy before she went in there. She wasn't in the hospital. She just broke her hip, went in to get treated and passed. So I completely understand. Like one of my employees, he was moving something today. He couldn't come into work, and I had work on the floor, and he sprained his leg, and he sent me pictures. Like, bro, like I didn't say, f you or not. I just was like, if there's anything that I can do, let me know because I never tried to be that. I used to be like bad boss or ignorant boss or not considerate, but just knowing how people work, I just try to work with them because I really need these people to do. I'm not going to do the job that I'm paying them to do. Like it will never get done. So I need them to do it. So I try to be considerate with everybody that I work with as much as possible because, like even my bottler at the kitchen, like she will not catch the bus. I'm like, listen, if you catch the bus, we can do way more work. She will not catch the bus. I have to pick her up because Lyft's not really operating. I have to pick her up, take her to the kitchen, and then drop her off, pick her back up. Even if it's 2 hours worth of work, I got to stop, pick her back up, and drop her back off at home because I need bottling done. So for
wow.
me, I just be understanding, and I just realized like I'm never trying to go to that kitchen and do bottling. I'd rather pay for that. So I just try to like I've been real understanding and I'm not saying beg your employees, but I have been very understanding to what's going on with everybody and just trying to get what I can get done because I don't want to take 3 months and be off and not be productive. So, something is better than nothing. So if I'm prospering, I'm paying more to get that done because when this is over with, I want to be ahead of the game instead of at the same pace. So I'm putting in all my energy and doing everything that I can and working with my peoples that's working with me because I really appreciate them because they don't have to come in and then I could just be stuck, not doing anything.
I mean, I guess the legal answer would be that employer can let unemployment know that employee is, refusing work because, you're not supposed to refuse work, I mean, but I think the governor did say something like if you don't feel safe, you can stay home. But if it's because you don't feel safe, you can't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which one is it? Is it that you don't want to come back to work because you don't feel safe? Okay, you can't have unemployment then. And as an employer, you got to let them know this person is refusing to come back. So I mean, yeah, but I keep hearing the same thing. Let's see. Scott says it's a good chance to see who to fire. I mean, yeah, I guess so. You know what I'm saying? If that is a good way to weed out the I don't want to call the people lazy, but I mean, just the people who want to ride out that money. He says, I think business owners should market that they're hiring online and move towards virtual training, depending on the position. You can't force a person to work, but someone is always looking for a job.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with that too because you can't I mean, you getting this money, like, what are you gonna do? You gonna make these people, like you said, you file the paperwork, you try to treat your people. And I'm not even saying this because of Drew. This is my real answer, like to what I've been doing. And I'm only giving what has worked for me. So I agree with that. Like, put it online, try to build a relationship with your people to where they like feel that they want to come in and work with you with what you're doing because if not, they're gonna sit and
right.
they're gonna collect that money if they don't want to, if they don't want to be a part of the vision or what you're trying to do and you're not treating them, you know.
Right. Scott says weed out the bums. He's savage. He does not have time. You know what I'm saying? He has too much going on. He's not trying to babysit anybody and beg. I mean, there's too many people out here looking for jobs. He's just like next. I feel you on that though.
Yeah.
How soon do you think from a customer's perspective, how soon do you think it's gonna take? Once we do get fully open, I think there's like about 45 states that are open or partially open. So once we all get fully open, how long do you think it's gonna take for customers, to have confidence? Going to some of these businesses, because that's another thing that entrepreneurs are struggling with. So, like Kamar said there, that's a good thing about the advertising, using your downtime to kind of promote your business and, let them know some of the measures you're taking, to provide customer safety and stuff like that. But for instance, for like the travel industry, cruise ship, hotels, and all that stuff. Do you think that customers are gonna want to just boom, let's book a trip and stay in a hotel? Or is there gonna be some type of reservation or pushback? I mean, for me, I mean, I'm just being honest. I wouldn't trust staying in a hotel or any of that stuff right now. I just don't trust it. I don't care how clean they talking about. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna take me a while.
Airlines flying to Hawaii for $19 and you can stay a week for $100. Aloha.
You out.
Aloha. I'm out.
So you don't care like about the staying in the hotels and
the price. I think that the price
showers, public showers.
No. This is what I'm saying. Like, I think that the price is going to determine what people will and will not do. You can say all day, we could get on here all day and say that, but if the news stop reporting all the deaths and all of that, and they start moving towards like this whole everything is getting back to normal, and they come up with some vaccine or something like that, and they start giving these deals, I believe that publicly people are going to push the caution and push the mask and push all of that. Like, I really believe that. But I also believe privately that people are going to be taking something, maybe not the cruise, maybe certain things will not happen as fast, but people are still flying every day. I know people that's traveling, and people are still booking hotels. So I think that people will privately do things, but they will do it very cautiously or not put it on social media. But imagine if Delta said you can fly to Hawaii round trip for $29.99. I guarantee you, people will be not posting, but will be in Hawaii. You'll be seeing people like, "What are you? You here? You here?" So that's just the reality of it. Now, some things, a cruise ship, you far, you got all this close, you know what I'm saying, proximity of people, that's something different. But I do think that the price determines everything.
Wow. Yeah, the cruise ship, that's how it all started. So definitely pausing on that. He says being an entrepreneur requires you to be a critical thinker and to figure out solutions. Yep. I mean, you got to be independent. I mean, or you won't make it. Let's see. Darren
going.
Brave. You're brave. I'm not brave yet. I think we're going to hit a global recession. Yep, I agree. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to put that negative vibes out there or anything. I mean, it's just being realistic. I mean, right now, the House came out with this bill. I think it was yesterday. And they passed it on to the Senate, and already I'm hearing that the Senate isn't liking it. So I don't know. So they're trying to get us some more money because, all these predictions. I don't know if you saw Dr. Fauci yesterday. They had all the experts, testify about, this whole state of the pandemic we're in. And, Fauci, he was, painting a picture that is going to be a second wave, that some of these states have opened too soon. Like, basically they just leapfrogged and opened their states, and he's expressing, basically grave concerns that, is going to be more spikes and this virus is going to keep spreading. So, yeah, with all that, we're going to need more money, right? Because if that means that business is going to have to close down again and people can't work. So it's just like a whole lot of moving parts to this
Yeah, it's gonna get better
pandemic. There's
before it get worse. It's gonna, you know, everything. I mean, I feel like we built for this, to be honest. Like I've been seeing a lot of resilient people that's been figuring out things, learning things, being productive, even if it's
that's the key word,
physically, mentally.
resiliency. Yeah.
So I feel like that, we built for it and that it's gonna definitely change. And I'm not saying like just be positive just to be positive, but I just think that, we built tough, man. We done been through a lot, our generation. So recession or whatever is providing discounts for us to push this account. Like we're next. We are the future. We are the leaders. We are the decision makers. So we are going to figure it out and move forward. And either you can, watch it, either you can push forward and be one of the people that make change happen. That's only two options, which neither one of them is bad. It just depends on which person that you want to be. But I've been seeing nothing on my timeline but, positivity and people investing in themselves and making, progress and change and not missing the beat and not even putting out negative energy. So I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready for the global. I'm ready for the digital currency. I'm ready for the whatever to happen. I'm ready. Like I'm mentally, not even financially, but I'm just mentally and spiritually ready for whatever is about to happen. However long it need to take, whatever. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's a good attitude that you have to have. Even if we weren't in, this pandemic, you just always have to put that positive mindset out there. Brandon says there are infinite opportunities to get in front of this new normal. Necessity is the mother of invention. That's good words there.
And let me say this,
Uh-oh, let me go
man.
up. I'm missing.
Like I when Henry Ford had invented the process to make the cars, you don't think that it was something that was happening in the economy when that happened? When Thomas Edison was making the light bulb or whoever that made it, you don't think that at that time in that period that it was something crazy that was happening? So I just feel like, being ahead of the curve, even for your kids, just being ahead and pushing forward is gonna put us in our generation. We got the opportunity right now to push our generation forward or the generation behind us forward if
Right.
we get ahead of this. So I agree with that.
Right. Just reading some comments here. Rodney, Elizabeth, shout out to you all. Thank you for supporting and watching us this evening. Kamar has been so awesome. All this
Yeah,
engagement.
shout
He
out
says,
to Kamar.
what's wild? On one hand, you have Trump encouraging states to open, then Dr. Fauci is saying proceed with caution. I feel like they're confusing. Yep. You can definitely see, some uh head bumping of powers going on. Um, let's see, Rodney checking in from Lansing.
Shout out to him.
Um, so right. So I wanted to ask you about so this whole supply chain thing, prices are going up. Some people are trying to gouge or whatever. But if entrepreneurs, if they have to pay more to, get their products and supplies, should they adjust their prices, increase, be to offset that, or how should they handle that situation?
Supply and demand. I mean, I don't think that you should. I seen something on Al Nuke page today. Shout out to Al Nuke, where in Georgia somebody was charging like for 8 ounces of the sanitizer like $27. Like I think that that's ridiculous. I know that things will change, but
That
I don't feel like
even on Amazon.
yeah, I don't feel like you should take advantage of people. Like,
Right.
even with our water, like our water, you get 10 gallons for $30, free delivery. At the store, it's like $4. Sometimes it's $5, but it's no more than $5. Like if you're charging $10 for water, I just feel like that's a little excessive right there. And I never try to. I feel like what's fair. You may charge a little bit more, but I don't feel like you should be going crazy, like tripling up just because, like, remember when the gas thing happened where people was charging like $8 a gallon just because something happened in the gas shortage and people just was upping the prices ridiculous. And it's like, come on, man. Like I just never believed in doing something like that. So I disagree with that. I understand if you got to pay more for your products, you have to charge more. I mean, that's just business. People should understand that.
Right.
But when you get to charging $80 for a dinner when a dinner is $40 just because it's an opportunity to come up, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, that's not right. They will adjust to what's going on. It's just beginning. Right now, people are still under the assumption thing will go back. Those are the ones that won't make it. That is true. Like, I mean, these leaders need to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? They need to be telling people this is a deadly virus. It's going to keep spreading until we get a vaccine, and not. I mean, even having a vaccine may not stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to get a vaccine that's going to work, and we have to get people who want to take the vaccine. But that's how viruses work. They just keep spreading. They just keep spreading until they, weaken or die off or whatever. So, I mean, just being
And I
realistic
want to give
about
a
that
shout
and
out to
the
you
fact.
too, Charmaine, because you was on this coronavirus before it was even a thing. Like you used your platform to go inside. People thought you was crazy. Like, why is
They
this
did
woman
think I was him.
keep on
Yeah, because
posting about this?
right.
You was
They
so ahead
weren't
of the
familiar
game. You was ready. So I gotta salute you for that because you
with
was ready for this. Like we should be taking a lot of advice from you because you've been hip to what was about to happen. You knew it. You saw it before
everything.
we all saw it.
Right. That's okay though. People will come around. Hey Elizabeth, she says Henry Ford not only faced trials, his own staff didn't believe in the concept of the building bigger engines. He had to them. It's possible. Lead growth and
Yeah.
step up. We got this.
People
Yeah,
think
that's
that it was
good.
just beautiful when Henry Ford just woke up one day and he said, I'm gonna put this together, and his wife and family was with it and his employees was with it. Like, come on, man. Like Henry Ford was going through some S. You know what I'm saying? At that time. And I ain't read this. I'm just saying that it was not just peaches and what you reading and what you seeing in the museum. It was hell going on at that time, period, of that transition from the process starting into what it is right now. But that little process we really got going, trust and believe they have something similar to this that happened. And he made it, and a lot of people made it that don't have the name Henry Ford. So we gonna make it.
Right. Thanks, Rodney. He just says that I was on top of it. So what are your thoughts on keeping people on lockdown? You know what I'm saying? Because right now in Michigan, we're on phase 3. And there's this criteria you have to have a decline, a constant decline for 14 days, and then you could graduate to the next phase. And she has us on a total of 6 phases. So, people are restless. People want to, get back to their businesses, or just get back to their livelihood, barbers, salons, just everything, to gyms and everything. I feel like everybody's just getting to the point where, they just going stir crazy, because I heard some fitness business owners, they said that they're gonna get together and tell the governor, like, look, we want to open. And then I hear that there's another group that's going to be protesting tomorrow. Like, the governor is really catching it. Oh my gosh, because people keep protesting, lawsuit after lawsuit, the churches. And I mean, so what are your thoughts on this? Should we be realistic about this, and just kind of open up, or should we keep people on lockdown? What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest, like this not my field. Like I just was saying about, I have a builder and then I have an advisor and a person that do paperwork. Like I'm a firm believer in listening to the experts, and if they say that we need to stay longer, I'm not about to build a laboratory and start testing for coronavirus. So I'm gonna have to follow. That's not my field, Like I can't speak to that. I can only listen to wise counsel. So if the doctors and people that study this stuff is telling us that we gotta wait, then I mean we just unfortunately gotta wait. I wish that, I miss everything that everybody else miss about being outside and all of that, but I'm not the expert, so I can only work around what the people who are qualified. Like you come to me for marketing, you come to me for alkaline water, you come to me for printing, you come to me for certain things, and I can speak to that. But you cannot come to me for coronavirus information. I don't know. I can only listen to you.
No,
Like I'm on your page and
but
talking to my doctors and stuff. I can't. They say
I
you gotta stay in.
know.
I gotta stay in the house.
Okay, no, I'm just well, that's your opinion. I'm just giving you opportunity to share how
No,
you
and
feel,
I ain't
but
coming at you like I'm just saying like I we got to stay in the house like until they tell us we can come out. Like I don't.
I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel you. Brandon says, if there was ever a cause, get into the political arena. This has shown us that government only tells what is beneficial to their bottom line. We need people to champion truth and transparency. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have to, you know, have to hold these people accountable. And,
And
that's the only
if
way.
you know something that we don't know or something that speaks to like why we should come out, then I agree. You should speak truth to power. Absolutely, if that's something that you know. But unfortunately for me, I'm not in the know to be able to speak to that. So for the people who do like have that's going to protest and they got a reason why this should work, then absolutely speak truth to power. But if that's not what you do, then you just got to follow what the protocol is, and if it's something other than that, go, like they do in protest or write or, get on social media, however you can handle that.
I mean, me personally, I always felt like it shouldn't be a one size fits all approach. I feel like the people who are vulnerable and at higher risk, have the comorbidities and all those things. I feel like those people should be the ones to stay at home, and everyone else, go out with caution. So that's just been, and there's some doctors and epidemiologists who feel that same way. But at the end of the day, the governors get to decide, how they want their constituents, what they want them to do. So that's that. How do you feel about President Trump's response to this in terms of the assistance that he's provided for small businesses, entrepreneurs? Do you feel like he didn't do enough, or you feel like, how do you feel he handled this, in terms of economics for entrepreneurs?
Some of the stuff that I have saw, and I've been sending that stuff over to Mark. He does like our paperwork, so anything that come across my desk, I know you sent me a few things, and whatever we qualify for, we qualify for it. But me personally, I I don't depend on the government. If I got a few of those, and I'm grateful for it. But and then even when the housing market crashed, and I think either Bush or Obama was in office, I got the first time home buyers credit. But I personally, like, I'm grateful for anything that you can receive from any president, but I don't depend on that stuff because, like we just, talked about before, like sometimes it be red lines and different requirements that a lot of people don't qualify for. So they miss those opportunities. So in my mind, if you can get it, cool. But if you don't qualify for it, you just keep it moving and keep pushing.
Oh, okay. All right, so just share some final tips for everyone. What they can do to help, help their situation. Since a lot of businesses, I think the unemployment rate is like maybe close to like 1.4 in Michigan or something. A lot of entrepreneurs had to file unemployment or take out these loans or whatever they're doing. So just, give some final tips to
It's
help
gonna be
them through their.
a real tough time for everybody. It's a lot of people that are thriving, and then there's a lot more people that are not, that don't even, that's not getting unemployment, that's gonna go through, a real tough time. And I would just say that once we get through this process, however long it take, just prepare and make sure that you got an emergency fund. Make sure that if you are not a person that is kind of entrepreneur driven, because we do have, a lot of people that are very, grateful and work and do that space, that you may want to consider, having a product or whatever your passion is. I think that everybody have a purpose. Everybody got a passion. So whatever your purpose is, try to figure out a way to monetize your purpose, and not for the entrepreneur championship, but just so that you can save that extra money, so that if something does happen, you at least feel comfortable and say, hey, I did everything that I possibly can do, so that if something else happens, I can be, I can prepare for that, because we just never know. And we get all these examples of things that happen, and now the whole world shut down. So if this example does not motivate and encourage people to, whatever the purpose that God called you for, if you can figure out a way to monetize that, to do it so that you can be ahead of the curve, this is the greatest opportunity to do that. But, right now it's just like enduring through the times. I mean, it's programs out there. You can go to the, I don't know the name of the place, but it's like where you go get your bridge card. I had a bridge card in college. So the bridge card do help. They're giving out programs. Tap in with Charmaine. She has a lot of resources that you can go to. Go to that place. I hate to say like the welfare office, because that's just suck as to say that, but it's the DHS office or whatever, and ask them for resources if they being short with you, because we are, well, maybe not y'all, but you go there, they be kind of giving you attitude. But if you speak to a manager and say, hey, listen, I really need a list, and go through that list because we got the time, and just kind of push through this phase. And then once everything kind of start opening back up, just getting on your purpose, monetizing your purpose. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, then you already know what to do. You like, I know with some entrepreneurs like, this ain't never happening again. So I ain't even talking to you. I'm talking to the people that they ain't really with the entrepreneur thing, but they know how to play the flute. Well, now is the time to teach a flute class or sell flutes on the side. Even if you make $10 a flute, you can save that money and put that towards the next pandemic or whatever, and learn about investing, not to be the biggest investor, but just so that your family has something to rely on when this happens. So I just encourage entrepreneurship with your purpose, not the stuff that you see us doing, but the stuff that God called you to do, no matter how weird, how quirky it may be. If it's stitching hats, you can do that and make $10 a day and save that money. And then if something happened, you can feel good about yourself. Like, hey, I did everything I could do so that I'm not struggling through this next because something else gonna happen. I mean, it might not be as bad as this, but something is always happening in our life, in the world, with your family, with your friends. Something is going to happen. So just trying to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to take that advice. That's some good advice there. Let's see. Elizabeth, she says, thank you, Charmaine and Jay, for your humble and thoughtful words. This is the best time to listen to what God's got for you. I agree. I agree. Brandon says, great advice. Yeah. So listen, tell everyone how to reach you. Give them your social media and how to get in contact with you.
Hey, on Facebook, man, we cracking heads on Facebook, man. We at like almost 4,500. So we 96. So everything is at J Success. Facebook, Instagram, jsuccess.com. You can grab some water if this,
Where your water?
Oh yeah. You can grab some alkaline water. We doing deliveries locally. Whatever Charmaine is doing, make sure you tap in to Charmaine. She's like a great informative resource. So if she got something coming up, make sure y'all support her as well. And you can just follow me, on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm on all social media, everything. So you can follow me. It's at J Success, even on Twitter, J Success or jsuccess.com, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate you for taking that time out your busy schedule to talk to me. It's like so grateful for that. Thank you.
Yes, yes, and I'm grateful for you. Listen, I'm gonna let you go, and I want to thank everybody for taking time to engage with us on our comment feed. If you guys are watching this on a replay, you can still ask questions, and we'll get back to you. And Jay, just stay safe out there. All right.
You
Nice
too.
talking
Thank
with
you. I
you.
appreciate you.
Good night, everybody.